because of its reality, not because it affects me. The reality is a spiritual thing, concept. When the world was first generated, so to speak, there was darkness. In darkness, there is nothing but what you can touch. No seichel. Then light came into the world that created seichel. The possibility of seichel. To know something without coming in touch with it. Knowing it because it's true and it's a reality. That's seichel. What provides for that? What provides the reality background is Ratzon. And we were repeating all the time, and we are starting all again. In our mentality, in our jargon, will is a capricious thing. I want. So if you say I understand because I want to understand, you are doing away completely with the significance of understanding. This is clearly not what the principle of Ratzon represents. Do I have you so far with me?
So we're gonna say want is from the nefesh.
Right.
Do you need that? Do you need to say that?
Yes, it's from the want is a godly reality. I want. There are many different levels. I want because that's where godliness is. That's what I want. Not I want. I want. No significance of that. That's what we repeat all the time. The statement that everything wants to survive is devoid of any meaning. I think everybody also recognizes that. Survive where? What? Where? The fact is, it doesn't exist. Survive means I want to be in the world. Why? Because that's the reality. It's got a reality.
The piece in the Tanya that I think exhibits this very well.
Go ahead.
Where it talks about the Beinoni who was saying to himself, you know, if every time it's going to constantly be a struggle and I'm never going to really win, what's the whole point? He says, the whole point is that I didn't create myself. It's the Eibishter created me.
Why did the Eibishter do this?
But that's the Ratzon.
That's the Ratzon. This is the seichel imperative as it is being supported by Ratzon. It's not the Ratzon directly. And seichel indeed is a supreme quality, because seichel, from a worldly perspective, on a worldly level, is sensitive, recognizes the ruchnius of the world, the life element in the world. Now we point out all the time, 1 and 1 does not constitute 2 on the physical level. On physical level, there is not 2, there is 1 and 1. There's no imperative to say 1 and 1 is 2. Except for some other purpose or some other reason. But 1 1 in itself does not constitute 2. It's 1 and 1. What makes them correlate? It is the Ratzon. Where Seichel is sensitive, it's true they're 1 and 1. But why is there 1? Because it was created, and therefore there is the other one also for the same reason. It's the same principle that brought them both, and therefore there are 2.
It seems like Ratzon is a strange word that that word is what's achieving this sense of godliness and unity in the world. That the word Ratzon is how we call that. This sense, yes, a sense of reality that doesn't seem to be a word that we would naturally attribute to such
because we are misusing the word Ratzon. Ratzon to us means I want, for a personal reason, for selfish reasons. But if you think of Ratzon, I want because that's the truth, it's a completely different Ratzon. Then Ratzon, that's real Ratzon. I'm really relating to the whole world. Why? Because that's where I recognize the truth. Contrary to the implication that Ratzon is my personal choice, and therefore I can take it or leave it, depending on how I turn my will. Ratzon is an imperative to the nefesh. In today's world, again, in today's world, because that is what's at the stake. That is what's confusing us. Today's world, it is not out of whack to say I want to live, I don't want to live. Which is a total anomaly. It doesn't exist.
That's called free choice.
It's dead choice. And yes, indeed, that is exactly what is in the system. That real choice is when you are dead, you are insensitive, you're blind, and then you pick your pick. I remember someone, going back many years, I was in Yeshiva in Montreal. This man was actually Shiva Bacher, whatever. He was a smart man, but he got confused. And he came to me one day, for years, people, for decades, people watch the relationship between a mother and her child as a manifestation of truth. It's a true relationship. You know what? They discovered now that it's all very selfish. It's not a true thing. What did they discover? That yes, this is I really wanted this. I'm bound to this. I'm bound to this. That means it is selfish. You know, it's like model of psychology, yes. Because in the world of science, objective means I am totally uninvolved. I don't live. And then show me what it is. If you don't live, there is no world. If you don't live, there is not two, there is one and one.
Mm-hmm. And this B'charta B'chaim, choose life, is the Indian of seeing this or not seeing this.
B'charta B'chaim is only due to the fact that we have another nefesh. We have a nefesh alakis and a nefesh abamis. Nefesh abamis also claims to be alive. And it wants world for its own sake. But it's all from the perspective of life. The Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe said an interesting statement.
And you could, about Taiva, you could.
I can deal with about that, but I cannot deal with a total neutral person. It's a part of it. It's basic music. I can't deal with it. Why? There's nothing there.
So when we talk about, talk about seichel, we talk about dafka seichel nefesh alukis. A seichel nefesh
Okay. The truth is, seichel TV, seichel anushi is also seichel. Also is based on a truth perspective. Nefesh alukis is a much higher seichel. Seichel anushi. There's 3 levels of seichel. Seichel Sichlis, Seichel Tivi, Seichel Anushi, Seichel Anuki. Seichel Tivi is not Seichel.
So
This is the
seichel
Seichel of the animal.
Seichel Tivi is
Seichel Anushi, no, Seichel Anuki. A human being, his Seichel is categorically out of the realm of the animal Seichel. Which is why Goyim were given 7 mitzvahs. I can give them mitzvahs if they're animals. If they don't have seichel, they have no means by which to relate to it. The answer is not true. They have seichel. They don't. Their seichel does not lead them, and they're not interested. The motzo rishe mamtzi kol nimtza, but that the world is real, and that you have to respect the world, and that the world is a creation. And not a haphazard accidental evolution. That is also contrary to Goyish human seichel. As I always repeat, there is not a single human being in the world who plainly says, yes, I am a derivative of a monkey. I can plainly relate to it. Because his seichel contradicts this. He says, no. But I have proof, okay. That's animalistic proof. That's not human. Okay, may we proceed? We have all of 10 minutes. But now I think, do I have you with me? Rabbi Kiva?
I mean, a general a general intention, I'm with you.
Okay. That's definitely a first step. The line begins with the word Hu Mehelam al Hagil Levad, and it's a few lines below the middle of the page, non Zai. The similar Inyan would be understood the way things are Lamaylo. The Inyan of Ratzon and Seichel. And then Seichel bringing it down to Midas and ultimately into action in Mashavadi Baromais. The Hamakiv who Mokir Hapnimi. That the Makiv, this is the source of the Pnimi. Pnimi means that which can actually be grasped and identified very specifically. V'yiker ha'hischadshu mikir hischadshu to b'chinas ha'makiv. The principle of hischadshus means innovation, recognizing some worldly phenomenon is in the makif, not in the pnimi. Pnimi is only revealing what's in the makif. But the essential inyan of there being a worldly concept, that's in the makif. I'm not going back, we already discussed this, just to bear in mind the very simple illustration. A home, this is the primary makif in human life. That makif includes and presents to the person all the content of a home. How do you use a home? How do you identify with your home? How do you participate in the home? It is through the pnimi element. At the concept, on the level of the concept of makif, you are not thinking of those terms, but it's contained there. That's what a home is. It provides for your comfort, for your presence, which means provides for all the concept, all the elements that will give you comfort. This is where it is chachos. In very simple terms, again, I'm coming back, but I don't want to get involved. Walking in the street, and walking in the field, walking in the desert, walking in a beautiful garden, you don't think of tables and chairs, or beds. In a home, yes, you do. If you're tired in the park and you want to sit down, you sit down on the grass. It's not. There's no tables and chairs there. If you have a difficulty bending down that far, you'll find a bench. But that's not the point. I know this inyan that the hischachos principally is in the makif. Hey, bivchinas hamakifim protiyim. This is both in the aspect of makifim protiyim, in the specific lower level makifim. Hey, bivchinas seiver makiv hakloli, and similarly in the aspect of the makiv hakloli. In our orientation to get an idea, makifim protein on sefer makiv hakloli. For example, the home, or the neighborhood, or the city, or the state, or even the country. That can go into the category of makifim protein. Where do you live? You live in the United States, you live in New York State, you live in Brooklyn, you live in Crown Heights. You're not going to say, I live on the American continent. This is what's called a makiv hakloli, a distant makiv. But this is also part of the makiv. That makiv is also the mokiv for all the other makiv, for all other projects.
I live in the earth.
I live on the earth? No. You always point out that that's in a very different category. How would you feel if somebody said, where do you live? Yeah, I live on the American continent. Is it meant for real, or is it floating someplace?
If it was in Asia, that makes sense. If someone was asking the question, and
You would not say American, I would say in America.
uh,
America refers to a country, essentially. Okmei bechinas machshava hagduma de'ak. As in the example, it's not an example, the inyan of machshava hagduma de'ak. Okay, here we have, it'll take us a little time to dissect these words, but eventually we'll touch it. Machshava hagduma means the pristine thought. The word kduma. Kduma does not mean the previous. This precedes this. This precedes this. Kduma, it does not go into the structure of what precedes what. Kduma is the concept. Kduma is that which precedes everything.
Primary.
Primary. That's why I said pristine. I know what the proper word. Primary. The initial. This is what you say. There is a motivation. Motivation is not part of the structure. That's the primary reality. Machshava hagduma, in terms of the stasa of the world, that this is the kduma. This is the initial presence of world. That's why it's called machshava, thought. In other words, coming from above, from Ilmailo, this is machshava, this is thought, speech, and deed. This is already on the practical level. It's an action. And this thought was created the entire Seder Ishtalshalos. This is machshava hagduma. The initial thought. We'll see to what degree the Rebbe leaders then will attend to it. And this machshava hagduma, this is the Odom Kadmon. Ak is Odom Kadmon. Odom Kadmon means also the primary man. Odom Kadmon is the primary. What does primary man mean? Not the created man, but the primary. The created man was created in the image of the primary man.
Primary man is also a creation, though, or not?
But there, when you say it's a creation, you have to immediately qualify it. A creation is only that which stands independent of its source, of its creator. Machshava hagduma, the ak, fully recognizes the godly truth that it represents. we're still getting into, just want to make the point. In the human beings, as we said, that the Ratzon is the basis for Seichel. That description lends itself to misinterpretation. That Ratzon is your own being, it's a selfish thing, something part of the world. To explain that Ratzon is really a godly presence, that you need a special explanation, special insight. And you realize that the Ratzon has as its source a godly truth. But then naturally he says, oh, you saying that your seichel is based on your will, so that's not seichel. Like you said before. The machshava hakduma de'at, you cannot make that error. There, it is completely representative, completely reflective, and inspired totally by that which is by the Elokus above. Let's just say a few words. Machshava hakduma de'at shezehu, which is the reference to Masha'Allah birtzeinu machshavta yisborich chlolos ha'yishtalshus. It is that Ayin where in Hashem's will, in Hashem's thought, entered the idea, the Ayin of chlolos ha'yishtalshus. This is Machshava hakduma de'at. And we have to revisit them this year. But one thing here, Ratzon and Machshava are almost used interchangeably. Because Ratzon, this one says, Ratzon creates the world. This creates a reality, a worldly presence. So it's called Ratzon and Machshava. Machshava, as opposed to Seichel, which is not in Zman u'Mokim, Machshava is Zman u'Mokim.
Because it's the Ratzon that it should go all the way down, all the way through.
Because it's a Ratzon for Seder Hishtalshus. For Hishtalshus. Chlolos ha'yishtalshus. So whatever degree we will understand it, we will. The important thing is that this raises our perception of the world, of what, and it breaks through a lot of barriers, and certainly does away with the challenge of the scientific challenge. It's extremely important. Okay, have a great day. And tonight, in Mishra Hashem, we will get together to learn the Sikha at approximately 1 hour prior to Leibniz.